everyone, and welcome to this week's video. This week I thought I'd show off some acrylic paints that I picked up from this cute little Danish store called Sophiralou Greens. I think it's called Sophiralou Greens or Grens. Let me know in the comment section down below. I always tend to mispronounce things anyway, but I found this really cute set of pastel acrylics, both the metallic and the non-metallic, and I thought it'd be perfect to have a play around with and get some opinions on them. So the first thing I did was I swatched them. Now unfortunately I seem to have lost the footage from my swatching, but here you are the swatches, and as you can see they can be quite streaky and they would have to have several layers on top, and this is why it's so important to swatch when it comes to playing around with a new material, just to see how the material does behave. Now it is going to behave differently on a canvas board versus using cartridge paper or sketchbook paper as I'm using here, but you're still going to get a better understanding of what the colours look like, especially considering you can never guess how the paint looks like in the tube versus the actual product itself. Sometimes I find that colours look very differently versus the actual outside versus the actual swatch. So since I had these teeny tiny canvases that I've had for absolutely ages and never done anything with them, I thought it'd be perfect to test these acrylics and do some small cute illustrations. You'll notice I am using a coloured pencil instead of a standard pencil, and this is just because when I'm using acrylics on top, the graphite in pencil lead can be quite jarring, especially when you've got quite thin paint. Acrylics that tend to be cheaper can be a little bit watered down, so you will end up with like a streaking effect, or you will notice that it does take quite a few layers to get desired like bold colour that you're after, and sometimes I find that cheaper acrylics or certain acrylic types can do that, and this is why it's so important to swatch your materials before you play around with them. So essentially I knew that I didn't want to use graphite lead. I was going to use pencils, coloured pencils, to try and get my rough idea of the illustration of what I wanted to do, and I wanted to keep it simple. This is why these are all free headshots. They're nothing spectacular. It's more just to test the palette with the colours, and I knew that I was going to use the metallic on top just because I wanted to create a cute sheen with it. So before all this I gessoed the canvas boards just so that the paint would apply better to it. I would say that technically you don't have to prime your boards before you use the materials. I've done it straight on without priming my boards. I just like to, because I find that the paint tends to sit on a little bit better once you've primed your board, because it's already smoothed down the canvas texture a little bit, so it's easier for the paint to grip onto. I don't know, I just before I started doing illustration, in fact throughout art classes and stuff like that, we never primed anything, so I just assumed that was the norm, but apparently no, you have to prime things, which really I never knew about. So it's all on the aim adventure of learning new equipment. And that's the thing with these three little things that I did. Now, I'm not happy with all three of them. No, I only like one of them. In fact, I like the little cat girl with the earmuffs. I just think it's so cute. Whereas the other two, it's kind of like, meh, they're all right. But this is the good thing about testing equipment. You come to learn what works and what doesn't work with your style. And acrylics is one of those I'm kind of still about. I don't really think it's 100% for me, but I'm going to keep on trying with the equipment anyway, just because there's some stuff that I can do with acrylics that I can't do with gouache, or I can't do with watercolours. It's a lot bolder, it's a lot brighter, it's just, for me, it's a little bit more difficult to use. But you know, you never know if something doesn't work until you actually try it, and this is what this is. It's all aim of trying and experimenting. So the long story short, you guys are probably wondering, do I recommend these? For a beginner set of paints, absolutely. They were two I think £2.50 for a pack of 6. That's not bad pricing at all. But if I'm honest, the quality of them is not the greatest for a cheaper set of acrylics. You're probably best off going to the Works, which is the UK shop, and picking up like the Bold Mirror acrylics, just because for the price, I think it's £8 for a pack of 24, and the acrylics in there, I would say, are a lot better than this, and you can achieve pastel tones by lightening colours with white acrylic and getting your desired tones. Yes, it does take a little bit longer instead of it coming straight from a tube, but if I'm honest, the quality is going to be a lot better. I've tried, if you want cheap brands that I can recommend, Reeves is a fantastic brand. Artist Loft, they do some really good acrylics as well. The only acrylics that I've ventured into that tend to be the slightly pricier ranges, I do have some of the Liquitex brand, but other than that, I've not got that many expensive acrylics because acrylics just isn't really 100% my thing. I'll dabble it in it every now and again, but if I'm honest, I think acrylic pens are probably more my style, if I'm honest. I've been playing around with a few Posca pens, which I am thinking of doing a Posca pen review for this channel, so let me know if you are interested in that. I know it's different, and Posca pens can be quite pricey, but acrylic pens, they tend to have that if you aren't massively confident with your brush skills. In particular, I'm not massively confident with acrylic paint, but acrylic pens I'm much more confident with because I feel like I have more control with it. But even though they tend to use like the same style of material, because acrylic pens essentially use acrylic ink, and I've got acrylic ink already, and I'm confident with acrylic ink, but for some reason acrylic paints and me, we just do not gel. I have tried several times and I don't think it suits me. I don't think it's something that I'm 100%, will gain into it, and that's okay. There's every artist material that's out there isn't going to be perfect for you, and that is absolutely fine. I don't use oils because, one, I don't have the space for oils, and two, I do not get on with oils in any way, shape or form. I have a cat that likes to come and inspect everything I do, and she jumps on my desk when I'm working, and I know some of you say, hey, you can shut out your cat, but I'm not going to do that because she's an indoor cat, and I'm not going to shut the cat out of one of the rooms because that's just cruel. So I try and think of like stuff, and besides that anyway, oils are not safe for pets in any way, shape or form, so I would not feel comfortable in having oil paints around an animal in any way, shape. I just would not feel comfortable. That's just a personal preference, and I personally do not get on with oil paints, and everyone is to each their own. Everyone has their own favourite piece of equipment. I absolutely adore alcohol markers, but I know that they are not for everyone. But if there was a brand that people could recommend me, or a brand that I could recommend for another person, I would 100% go there, because I understand that trying out lots of different equipment is expensive, which is why I recommend, while you are at schools, if you have access to those materials for cheap or for free, utilize every single thing that you can, because while you can get that equipment around you, it is fantastic tools for learning. And that's the one thing that I've really enjoyed about watching lots of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of artists doing lots of different art supplies. That's one of the things that inspired me to try and branch out and do something other than alcohol markers, other than line work, other than just digital art. And I'm really glad that I did, because it taught me so much more. And there are websites that you can go to, and you can like research and have a lot of amazing people out there that will teach you. And this is what's so fantastic about the internet now, is that we have so much at our fingertips that we can go and look to, and it's phenomenal. If you had told me when I was a teenager that I'd be trying out lots of different art supplies now, I think you were mad, because I thought alcohol markers were the only thing that I was ever going to use. But now here I am, playing around with acrylics on a canvas. Nothing sounds more terrifying to me in my teenage mind, looking at this going, what is this? This is horror, horror. Other than that, after layering a few times, the colours on these turned out so beautiful. I love the pastel effect. I don't end up using pastel tones a lot with my work. I tend to use a lot of earthy tones, and pastel tones are just really pleasantly appealing. There's something really nice about the tonal effect that you can get with pastels, and it always seems to me like very relaxing for some reason. It's something to do with the colours. I just find the tones really relaxing, and I don't know, like, what are your favourite colour schemes? Let me know in the comment section down below. I personally prefer like earth tones. I absolutely adore them, but everyone has their favourite colour preferences, and maybe I should totally do this again and maybe try out lots of different things. I don't know. I'll leave a full list of the equipment that I use down below, as well as links to the website that you can get these from. It's a .com website. I know that they have quite a few stores all over the world, so it should be interesting if you guys can get a hold of this and let me know what your thoughts are. I don't think I was too unsuccessful with them. I'm just not massively confident with acrylics, so I don't know, everyone's opinions vary, don't they, when it comes to certain equipments, but in particular I'm just really happy with this one. I'm really like her. The other two I'm not too keen on, but you know, it's absolutely fine. I might use this acrylics in the future as like a sheen on stuff, because they just turned out super cute. Which look really nice. They kind of remind me in a way of like the fine text, like how you can just add like a really cute layer of like silvery tone to it. It's just super cute. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video and my thoughts on these paints. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's any equipment that I should totally check out, or any paints I should totally check out. Maybe one day I'll get more confident with acrylics. I don't know. Have a wonderful day, and as always folks, stay creative.